Hello guys, we're here to talk about the Super Hydro high pressure flat surface cleaner available from Sydney Tools, and I'm really excited about this. This is a great little product. It makes cleaning flat surfaces with a high pressure hose so much quicker, and that's what you want at the end of the day: efficiency, get the job done, and hopefully this will do it for us. So we're going to try and give you 7 things that are really beneficial to you, and we're also going to discuss a few things like price, availability, quality, ergonomics, specifications, the environmental friendliness of the product in itself, and then also the serviceability. So the product comes with, in a box. I've just taken it out of the box. So in the box you've got the base plate itself. You've got the high pressure hydraulic hose. You've got the handle that comes in two pieces, and then you've got a little packet of things, and you've got some instructions. Okay, the instructions are not fully comprehensive, and yeah, there's the first thing I discovered when I took it out the box is that these 2 holes at the bottom that goes up to the base plate, one of the plastic cups didn't have a hole drilled through it, so I had to drill that myself. It's got a quick connection, so basically to connect it to your high pressure hose or your high pressure washer, straight up there, 3/8 of an inch, which is easy and quick connect. All right, so it's a diameter of 508 mils or 20 inches. Which is a decent size. Any bigger than that becomes super cumbersome. Smaller than that is great for tiny surfaces, but it's really not helpful when you're doing a slab that's running up to a garage or something like that. So the maximum pressure it can handle is 4,800 psi. Okay, so that's good for most machines, and the working pressure is preferably about 3,700 psi. So it'll be helpful on my machine, which is a Jetwave Hornet. I can adjust the pressure down to 3,700 to give me that ideal pressure. So minimum pressure won't work under 2,000 psi. It is a maximum flow rate of 30 liters per minute. Mine does 15 at that pressure. You can get different machines that do higher volumes, but this is perfect at that flow rate. It can take hot water up to 70 degrees Celsius, so if you have a hot machine, this can handle it. And then it weighs about 14 kilos all up, so it's not a backbreaker. And then it's got 2 nozzles internally which rotate, and it's also got in this little bag 2 spare nozzles as well, which is super handy. So the instructions basically say place the legs of the lower handle in the mounting brackets on the surface cleaner deck, align the holes in the legs and in the brackets, insert pin through holes in mounting brackets and legs, install split ring through hole in the end of the pin to secure. So having had a look at the pictures on the box, I have figured out a few things, and this might be helpful to you. So this machine is designed to have this set up so that this hose holder is at the top. So with the Super Hydro words pointing that way, we can insert that there like that. So hope that doesn't fall out of there. I'm just going to take these things, empty them into there, and then we can work from there. So you will see that there's 2 sizes. There's a long and a short, and although it doesn't tell you that on the instructions, the long ones go through there and the short one is up here for the handle. So without further ado, we'll just pop that in there. It's not as easy as what it should be. I'll do that one maybe. There we go. There we go. Put the pins through. These don't have to be bent over. You could if you wanted to. I wouldn't recommend it. Just a regular check on them would be fine. and then this guy, I'm going to turn this way. Before I turn it that way, I might just show you the underneath of it. The underneath simply looks like that. All right, that's your rotating, and it actually does turn that way. And the two nozzles have already been installed. Okay, so you can see everything stainless steel inside. It's all serviceable. Nozzles can be replaced. The end caps can be taken off to clear any of the debris you might collect in there, which shouldn't be, because there's a filter on the intake of this handle to keep any larger bits out. Circlip there to remove the bearings. Really well put together. It looks strong enough. Stainless steel brackets, stainless steel casters. Casters can be easily replaced. So really, from that point of view, it's a pretty good setup. All right, so next thing is to put the rest of the handle on. So again, with the nozzle up, so it's quite a comfortable handle. It's got a trigger right there. All right, and the trigger is nicely placed for 4-finger grip, and it's got a latch there. The latch will help you to take some pressure off your hand. So once you've got it triggered, you can lock it out and it stays locked out. Very handy little feature. There's the quick connect just there. Anyway, this goes on. And we put that pin through again with its split pin. Voila, very good. All right, so that looks like it's all done. Then it says, we've done all that. Repeat the process, secure the other leg, attach the handle to the lower handle, secure with pin and split ring. That's been achieved. Apply high strength thread locker liquid or Teflon tape if needed. So they didn't give us any liquid. Loctite makes a liquid, so you can use that if you wanted to. I tend not to. I use it only for diesel engines or diesel fuel systems, to just do it in a clockwise rotation, because that way you end up with the end of the tape pointing in a clockwise rotation, because that's the way you're going to be screwing it in, so that way it won't lift the end of the tape. Attach fixed end of the hose to the trigger handle. That one rotates, so that's got to go down there. This one doesn't, so that's also a bigger hole, so the bigger hole goes up there. So we'll do that. We'll try and line that up. That's always the tricky part, so we'll just give that a flex like that and see if we can get that in there. All right, so I guess we don't want to over tighten this because it is going into a plastic housing, and not sure how much pressure that plastic housing would take, but if at the end of the day it is not tight enough, we can always tighten it up some more if there are any leaks. So insert that through the little hose holder there, and then into the deck. Tightened. I've just got a tiny little 6-inch shifter here. They didn't supply any tools, and I don't want to over tighten it because this does look like it's cast, so we'll just be careful of that. So if you don't over tighten anything in a cast metal, it might crack, so that'll be good for that. All right, so it looks like we're all done. It's been put together very well, I think, and it's not hard to do at all. So just looking at the few things, the 7 things that I would evaluate the product on. If we look at price, this one came in at 579 Australian dollars, which is very reasonable considering that some of the European counterparts are selling for over $1,000, so $1,200 or so. So from a price perspective, I want to give this 10 out of 10. It's available from Sydney Tools at that price. I'm not sure who else stocks the Super Hydro, but Sydney Tools does. I would imagine that it's made in the People's Republic of China, so therefore it'll be available elsewhere under a different brand name, a very similar thing. So availability, like I said, Sydney Tools, they had about 10 of them in stock there, so it wasn't an issue to get. I'll give them 10 out of 10 for that as well. Quality-wise, on the quality side, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 just simply because, like I said, initially when I tried to put the pin through there, one of the plastic caps were not drilled out, so I had to drill that out before I started this video, and so that'll give it a bit of a quality issue there. The other thing is that these brackets stick out a little bit more than the diameter of the deck itself. So what that means is that you may not be able to come up right against the edge. So if you look at that's where the bracket is there, and you can see I'm about 30 millimeters off the edge there. So you'll have a bit of a gap on your edges if you are doing edges. The wheels, however, do rotate inside the diameter of the disc, so your wheels will be free to rotate, so they won't knock up against anything. So that's very good. So the build quality overall, like I said, about 1.2 millimeters stainless tubing there, so that's really nice. And it's double tube, so some of them are single tubes, and that's just simply not strong enough. It's going to get some work hardening and break, but this seems really solid. So I like that. I like the fact that it's all stainless steel. I like the fact that they've made everything looks replaceable to me. There's almost not one single thing that I can't see that can't be replaced. These are all bolts with Allen key. This can come off. The nozzles can come off. The rotating batten itself, that can come off. This can be replaced from any hydraulic shop, so that's not an issue. The handle, it might be an issue to replace, but again, I'm sure there's many companies that make hydraulic valves that you could use to achieve the same end result. The foam handle here is very light foam, and I would dare to say that over time this foam would give and potentially break, and again you'd have to replace that with something a little bit better, but it is still a nice piece of equipment overall. Ergonomics, holding it like we did before, it is really comfortable. This is not adjustable, but obviously you can swivel this up and down, which can adjust for your height, so that's nice. I'm not sure whether an adjustable or telescopic handle would have made any difference or made it better. It might, on the angle that you walk at, might make it easier or less easy to push, but I think from the ergonomic point of view, like I said, it's built fairly well. There's no undue stress on the person pushing this around. So specifications, like I said before, it's a 20-inch diameter disc, which is more than enough. Smaller wouldn't work for big concrete surfaces, but and larger becomes cumbersome. I mean, already this weighs 14 kilos, so you want to ensure that you don't go too big and too heavy. So I would put the limit at about 20 kilos. Some of them are 24 kilos, but that's a little bit heavy. The material's all stainless steel, so that's a good specification. The maximum pressure is 4,800 or 4,800 psi. My machine, which is a Jetwave Hornet, that does 4,060 psi, and it can be adjusted. So the ideal working pressure, like I said, is 3,700, so 3,700 psi. The maximum flow rate of water is 30.2 liters per minute. So my machine does 15, Some machines do 20, but a lot of machines out there only barely do 10 or 11 or 12. So ideally this could be used for that. But be careful with those machines because most of them only deliver 3,500 PSI, whereas your ideal water pressure is 3,700 on this. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, so quick connector, 3/8 of an inch, which is pretty much standard in the industry. And it can handle 70 degrees Celsius of water. So from a specification point of view, I think it's spec'd really well, and I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. The next thing is environmental. Environmental, we have everything is stainless, so everything is literally recyclable, very little plastic. Hydraulic hose, which is not recyclable, but at the end of the day, it's going to last a long time. So that shouldn't be an issue. And everything is repairable, so that from an environmental point of view, cradle to grave, this machine ticks the boxes. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 as well. And serviceability, like I said before, serviceability is 100% good. There is nothing on here that I can see that I cannot fix myself. It is only the handle grip itself there, but I've seen those before are easily found at many it's just this this handle that you might, if that had to break, if you dropped it or something like that, that might be an issue. But I'm sure that there'll be spares available from Sydney Tools. The handle itself, it's a little bit movable, but again, if it does break, it wouldn't be hard for someone to, because it's stainless steel, right? It's easy to bend and make a new one for that if you wanted to, as long as your deck lasts. So overall, the machine will get 63 out of 70 or 6.3 out of 7. So yeah, wow, really good machine, really happy with it.